Okay, welcome to the second video where today we're going to look at, yeah, Luna's still here. Today we're going to look at how we're going to do analysis or proving the statement. Luna, you can't be part of the video. It's too much. Hold on, I need to place her somehow. Cool. Okay, so for this part we can basically delete all of this here. Cool. And we can focus on this. So part 2 of any argument is argumentation, mechanism, analysis. Like, there are these buzzwords that we use for debating. All of these things mean one thing: proving the truth / likelihood of your argument. Did I write likelihood properly? No, I didn't. It's with an I. Yeah. So basically, this is the idea of the second part of the argument, and it basically asks us one very simple question that you can build up from the statements. Again, all of these things are interconnected. It's basically, why does X equal Y? This is the very simple question that you need to ask yourself. And this is how basically you're able to generate analysis. So why does X equal Y? So let's do it. So basically we ask ourselves the question in the example here: why does legalizing all drugs lead to more quality drugs? And so the answer, the intuitive answer that most likely you will receive is either one. Luna, you're getting too much in the video. Is either one, state regulation, or two, competition between companies. So these are like the two most obvious answers that you are going to do. Now, so the crucial thing here is that in any case you're going to get some kind of answer, right, from the question. From here, you need to do either one of two things. You need to go back, which is something that debaters really forget to do, or you need to go on front. So with this argument that we already have, we need to go back. So what we need to ask ourselves is basically, why does X equal A? It's okay, like, you're going to ask yourself, what is A? Well, A is either one of the two reasons that we have given here. So like, this is A and this is A. This is some kind of, if you think about it, a logical chain is like a bridge, right? This is how you need to think about it. It's like a bridge that you're trying to construct. And most likely the first answer that you're going to give is somewhere in the middle of this bridge. So then this theoretical answer A, or in this case, like state regulation or competition between companies, must be preceded by a question: why does X equal A? Or in this case, this is the question that we are asking ourselves is, why is this a problem? Like, why is this a problem to begin with? And here we can explain: when drugs are illegal, when drugs are illegal, the black market adds addictive substances like rat poison. So I've heard, I've never tried hard drugs. Like rat poison that make the user want to buy more, or, you know, the other analysis here is to undercut the quality of the drug so that you can sell more. So like, that's basically the line of logic that we need to explain, because it's yeah, it is intuitive, but you need to explain these type of things in order to make sure that your argument is well built, fleshed out, etc. So then, after we've done X equals Y, Y X equals A, and we've given a substantial bits of analysis towards this, then the question that we need to ask ourselves is, why does A equal Y? Or in this case, literally, why does state regulation solve the problem? And so here, the question that the answer is very simple. Once legal, the state can enforce checks, regulations on quality, and strip you of your license. And then, okay, so then the question becomes, so like let's call this theoretical answer, I don't know. Let's call this theoretical answer A1. Then the question that we need to ask ourselves is, why does A1 equal to Y? Or like, why does this work, basically, in order, to build out the bridge? And then, the companies have an incentive to follow the law, because they're scared of fines or going to jail. That like black market actors don't have this incentive. Yeah, so basically that's how we give an explanation, but there's a catch here. The catch here is that we've actually skipped the burden, if you look at it closely. So what we've talked about is why there's a problem and how state regulation solves this problem. However, there's a burden that we missed within this line of analysis. You can pause the video right here and think about what this particular burden is. So yeah, pause and you can continue. But the burden that we missed, I assumed you've paused and you thought about it, is why is regulation likely? Right? So it's not just about proving that you have a solution. You also need to prove why that solution is likely. And so here we could give an explanation. Like this is a health risk. Government is accountable to the people, cares about being re-elected, will mandate regulation. So this is like the first most basic line of analysis here as to why regulation is likely. The other thing is most likely a right-wing opposition will be against this. This creates an incentive in government to be adequate and regulate. Because they don't want to lose votes, etc., etc. So the thing that people do as mistakes is, number one, they don't go back, right? You need to go back on your analysis to always check, where have I missed a burden, where have I missed an explanation, where have I done this, and always check where things are adequately explained. So the additional thing that you can do here, although we've given the explanation and we've reached the endpoint, which is, and this is why we will have more quality drugs, is also to think about, okay, what kind of responses will my argument get? So if you are new, I would advise you not to do this, because just the first part, just building out the bridge, is hard enough for you. However, if you're intermediate and this stuff isn't all that complex for you, what most people are missing is actually where would I be attacked? Where would a sensible government team attack my argument? And in this case, the most likely attack that I'm going to that I would get is if you are over-regulating the market too much, that means that people would still prefer to go and buy it from their dealer, right? Because like regulation presumably also means increased price, because now you have more safety controls and stuff like that. So like this would be a response towards this argument. It's just towards the example, but this is like the thought process that you would need to this. So after you finish the argument, you just have to say a potential response might be this. Here's why this response is not true. The first and most basic reason is that people prefer quality. People prefer to pay for quality as opposed to just insert complete dog shit into their veins in terms of drugs and stuff like that. Like people would prefer to pay more price if they get the security. They're most likely going to get the security from the government regulated place. So this means that this incentive that they pose to is not as strong as the alternative incentive, which is just that you prefer to get quality and things like that. And then we weigh the reason. Yeah. So then after this is done, so we didn't develop like the second reason. I purposefully didn't do this. After this is done, we finally reach like the conclusion. So we have one reason. So why didn't I develop the second reason? Because I want to illustrate something. I've noticed many teams, when they debate, especially teams that are from North America. This is what you guys do. Although other circuits also have this. People just say a random word and don't really explain it. And then they think that constitutes actual explanation after all analysis. If you compare both of these explanations, the first about state regulation is much more comprehensible than the second, right? Like, why is this the case? Well, because we've actually asked ourselves what are the internal burden questions and the internal explanations that we have to give towards this argument in order for towards this piece of analysis in order for this piece of analysis to be true. This is something that teams don't do about their reasons, and they leave them asserted. They're super vulnerable to an attack. All you have to do is like just provide a basic counter response. So like if the reason is left like this, just competition, all I have to stand up to beat this reason is to prove from op is just to say, what competition are you talking about? Most likely this will be monopolized, as like big tobacco is, for example, and things like that. Here are some reasons why, blah blah blah, and that takes out the argument. But in reality, this line of analysis has a couple of premises. It has first premise, why is there competition? Second premise, why does competition work? Yeah, these are like two very big premises that demand like explanations, and vice versa. You can also from op attack either of one of these two premises. So yeah, I get the question. Well, aren't I like overanalyzing things? Don't I spend too much time doing this? So there are two answers here. The first is you should judge more, because if you judge more, that way you start to understand and see the patterns. Okay, what types of arguments require what types of burdens in order to be well explained. So if we look at the upper burden, the argument about the black market and how severe the drugs are and this type of thing, that's fairly intuitive. Like that's kind of and it's kind of unlikely to be severely challenged from an op team. Most op teams will concede that that's the case. However, the argument about state regulation and things like that is where you'll be most likely challenged, and is where you'll most likely need to provide analysis and things like that to do it. But secondly, it's always much better to have more analysis than less analysis. It's better for the glass to be full and overflow and the water to fall on the ground and this analysis to be useless, as opposed to not having enough analysis and you're closing just standing up and saying like, they didn't explain this burden, I'll explain it right now. So yeah, so this is like the module about analysis. The next video will be on impacting and winning the debate with impacts. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful. See you in the next video.